The R-vee world just hit a moment nobody can spin anymore.
R-vee retailer new unit sales jumped 57% last year compared to 2019.
The production boom turned into a backlog. Dealers are buried in inventory, prices are sliding, and cracks are showing in places buyers used to trust without thinking. 4 major brands are feeling the squeeze harder than anyone expected, and 2026 is starting to look like a major marker. Maybe a turning point, maybe a warning sign. This isn't a rumor. It's patterns, pressure, and answers most consumers haven't seen yet. And if you plan to buy, sell, or already own an R-vee, what happens next could hit your wallet faster than you think. Winnebago Industries. For decades, the name Winnebago carried a weight that meant something. It stood for trust, endurance, and the kind of road freedom that came with craftsmanship, built by steady hands, not computer scripts. When people bought a Winnebago, they believed they were buying into a promise that American reliability still had a pulse. But today, that confidence is shaking, and the reasons are no longer rumors whispered between dealers. They are written in reports, sales charts, and the fine print that too few people read until it is too late. In the first quarter of 2025, retail registrations across the entire motorhome market fell by 9.3%. According to Statistical Surveys Incorporated. That number might sound small, but in an industry where margins hang by threads of 2 or 3 points, it is devastating. Winnebago's leadership confirmed what many already suspected. Orders are down, production is slowing, and inventory is rising faster than demand. The company cut its full-year outlook after recording weaker than expected motorhome demand and a noticeable slowdown in dealer restocking. It is the same story repeated through every corner of the R-vee world, but for a brand like Winnebago, built on consistency, the fall hits harder. Dealers hold units parked over 120 days as financing costs climb. Each week erodes profit until desperation strikes prices slashed, warranties trimmed. What appears a bargain often signals retreat. Inventory aging, margins shrinking, and a brand quietly struggling behind showroom lights while buyers mistake discounts for opportunity. Dealer sheets from late spring show a Winnebago once priced at $184,995 now listed for $149,500, a $35,495 20% drop. Pandemic-era expansion left idle factories and overstocked materials. Cutting staff or corners created reports of wiring flaws, leaks, and misaligned panels in late 2024. Builds a warning of strain beneath Winnebago's polished image. Now, the brand's greatest challenge is not competition from others, but from its own legacy. The reputation that once sold motorhomes without advertising now demands proof of quality that modern buyers expect, but accountants resist funding. When management looks at profit spreadsheets, they see numbers. When owners look at their driveways, they see a lifetime purchase. Those two visions are colliding. Financially, the cracks show in the public filings. Winnebago's revenue has softened while costs of materials remain high. And that balance turns thin fast. Each unit now must carry more profit per sale to offset fewer overall transactions. That is why you will notice fewer rebates and more instant markdowns, a tactic to keep sales moving without acknowledging true overproduction. It is a strategy that calms shareholders temporarily, but erodes long-term trust. Winnebago's heritage still carries weight. Older builds from the early 2010s retain value because they were crafted slower, with fewer outsourced parts. Newer, automated models lose 19 to 21% within a year. Timing now defines value. Mid-summer rebates, about 60 days away, may offer $10,000 to $15,000 leverage. In this market, patience equals protection and profit. Still, the larger issue reaches beyond price. It is about confidence in American craftsmanship. When a company that symbolized open road freedom begins relying on cost trimming and volume tactics, something cultural is lost. People do not dream of hitting the highway in a spreadsheet. They dream of reliability, of turning the key without doubt. That promise once defined Winnebago. Whether it can again depends on how deeply the leadership understands what made the name sacred in the first place. For those watching from the sidelines, the evidence speaks louder than marketing. A brand that built its legend on reliability is now fighting its own numbers. Production slowdowns, rising inventories, heavier discounts, all point to the same conclusion: stability has given way to survival. The company still has the engineering capability to recover, but only if it remembers that trust is not restored with slogans. It is earned mile by mile through quiet dependability. As rivals chase flashy designs and cheap imports, Winnebago must choose patience over panic. The market never forgives broken trust. Buyers should wait for the next rebate wave, confirm build dates, and inspect warranties carefully. Units built after late 2024 demand scrutiny-tempting discounts today can become costly regrets tomorrow. This chapter in Winnebago's story is more than an economic dip. It is a reminder that reputation has a cost, and once it is spent, rebuilding it takes longer than any production cycle. What was once a symbol of freedom now stands as a test of accountability. Whether the company can find its way back will define not only its future, but the meaning of American reliability itself. Thor Industries. There is a difference between growth and greed. Growth builds something solid. Greed builds until it breaks. Thor Industries has now reached that breaking point. For years, it stood as the empire behind the American recreational vehicle market, owning more names than any competitor, feeding dealers coast to coast with a constant flow of new units. But what was once seen as strength is now its greatest weakness. Overproduction has become a slow-motion financial avalanche, burying dealers, customers, and confidence alike. Back in the surge years of 2020 and 2021, Thor's executives chased demand with record speed. Orders flooded in from buyers stuck at home, and factories ran around the clock. When the market cooled, production lines did not. The same machines, workers, and contracts kept churning out more units than the public wanted. By the start of 2025, that oversupply hit full force. Dealers were drowning in unsold stock, while financing charges, known in the trade as floor plan interest, ate through profits month after month. Thor Industries' latest data exposes the strain. Quarterly revenue hit $2.02 billion, about 9% lower year over year, slipping from profit to a per-share loss of 0.01. For every $100 shipped, almost nothing remained as income. Stock prices dropped, budgets tightened, and inspection standards collapsed. Workers were ordered to finish and ship under code E102, bypassing audits to keep volume flowing. Each unchecked weld or loose seal became another warranty claim. Those unseen costs now eat through margins faster than dealers can discount unsold units, proving overproduction is the industry's most expensive mistake yet. By spring, dealer lots in Indiana and Texas were stacked 2 and 3 rows deep with unsold motorhomes and travel trailers bearing the Thor name. Many had been sitting longer than 90 days, some past 130. Every day, those rigs sat idle meant another tick on the interest clock, another payment the dealer owed the bank. To stop the bleeding, they began cutting prices. Advertised markdowns of 15 to 20% became normal. But the deeper loss hides behind the curtain, the depreciation that follows. A motorhome discounted by $20,000 before sale will likely lose another $20,000 within the first year of ownership. That is not a bargain. It is a transfer of financial pain from the manufacturer to the buyer. Thor calls it strategic inventory normalization, but it means slowing an overbuild they cannot halt. Contracts keep aluminum, fiberglass, and chassis flowing while strain spreads. Suppliers face delayed payments, forcing layoffs across component makers. Every postponed check ripples outward, turning factory optimism into longer repair waits and rising costs for customers. You can trace the problem to the fundamental mismatch between corporate strategy and real-world buying patterns. The pandemic boom taught executives the wrong lesson. They mistook a temporary surge for a permanent shift. Instead of adjusting slowly, they expanded like it would never end. New buildings, new workers, new capacity. Then, demand returned to its natural rhythm, leaving Thor with infrastructure that must now feed itself regardless of sales velocity. When that happens, quality becomes negotiable, and brand trust begins to erode. The R-vee Industry Association forecasts 337,000 shipments for 2025, growth on paper, but below Thor's expectations. Missed targets drive shortcuts, merged production runs, hidden material downgrades, and rushed builds. Service reports now reveal adhesive failures, water leaks, and miswired systems from late 2024 units. What this means in plain terms is simple. The company is paying for yesterday's ambition. It will take several cycles to clear old inventory and rebuild buyer trust. Until then, anyone looking at a Thor-built unit is stepping into a volatile market. Prices look attractive, but those markdowns exist because the dealers are desperate, not generous. If you step in too early, your new purchase could be worth $10,000 or $15,000 less within months. Waiting through the next 2 fiscal quarters, roughly until late summer, gives leverage. Dealers under floor plan renewal deadlines will be forced to liquidate remaining 2024 and early 2025 stock before new allocations arrive. Thor still holds immense potential. It has resources, scale, and legacy. But recovery will depend on humility, a return to sustainable production, instead of the feverish race for quarterly numbers. When a company forgets that its product represents trust, not just units, it risks everything. The empire built on ambition can just as easily collapse under it. Overproduction has turned Thor's strength into strain. Once efficient factories now stand silent between shifts as dealers whisper about buybacks and delays. Customers feel the unease in every cautious sales pitch. Those gleaming rows of unsold motorhomes reveal not abundance, but imbalance. An empire built too fast, now enduring the inevitable correction. When you hear the discounts, remember the equation behind them. Every $1,000 off the sticker is another sign that production ran ahead of demand. Wait. Watch the timing, because the next 60 days will tell the real story, whether Thor can slow itself down, or whether this cycle ends the way most corporate overreaches do, quietly, with fewer lights on in the factory and more for sale signs in the lots outside. If you value real numbers over headlines and want the truth before the market spins it, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Your insight matters here. Share your thoughts below so others know what's really happening across the RV industry. Forest River. Not every collapse starts with noise. Some begin in silence, a slow build of pressure behind factory doors, paperwork stacking higher than orders, and a market losing patience 1 month at a time. That silence now surrounds Forest River. For years, it was the dependable workhorse of American towables and fifth wheels. It delivered practicality over prestige, reliability over luxury. But the same company that built its name on steady volume has now become trapped by it. The story is not rumor. The numbers tell it clearly. In April of 2025, retail registrations for travel trailers measured just 21,011 nationwide, down from 22,409 the year before, a 6.2% decline, according to Statistical Surveys Incorporated. That slip might look minor, but in a sector where production cycles depend on constant momentum, a single-digit drop spreads like a fracture through the entire system. Once efficient Forest River factories now idle between shipments, as unsold units gather dust for over 120 days, draining dealers through mounting fees and interest. Analysts confirm insiders' warnings. Post-pandemic production raced ahead of real demand. Assembly lines kept building long after buyers stopped buying, creating classic oversupply. That oversupply forces desperate math. Dealers slash prices by 10 to 20% just to free up space for the next shipment, but those markdowns create a ripple effect. Each discount devalues the previous customer's unit overnight. The resale market reacts immediately, pulling down appraised values and financing approval ratios. For the average owner, that means a travel trailer purchased for $40,000 2 years ago might now be worth barely $27,000. Depreciation has always existed, but now it feels like a slide. Then there is the second, quieter issue: build quality under speed. When production targets grow faster than staffing, shortcuts appear. Service technicians report more soft floors, water intrusion around seals, and alignment issues in slide mechanisms. Problems rarely seen before the output race of 2021 through 2023. These flaws are not universal, but they are frequent enough to chip away at reputation. Warranty requests have increased, and parts availability has tightened as suppliers struggle to keep up with rework orders. Forest River remains sizable yet strained. Despite Berkshire Hathaway's support, local plants chase volume over demand, filling lots with unsold inventory that appears profitable only on paper. Dealers now cancel future orders and delay payments, revealing an industry stretched by misplaced optimism. optimism, the same confidence that once built Forest River now threatens to break it. To visualize the situation, picture a pipeline built for pressure that suddenly loses flow. Air fills the space where demand once lived, but the machinery keeps pushing. That is where Forest River stands. Production output remains high, but the current of real buyers has thinned. In such a scenario, each unit becomes both an asset and a burden. Sell it too fast, and you bleed margin. Hold it too long, and you bleed interest. Either way, the cash drain continues. Buyers often ask whether now is the right moment to step in, to take advantage of the markdowns. The answer depends on timing. Analysts tracking dealer financing cycles note that by midsummer, roughly 60 days from now, many dealers will hit renewal deadlines for their floor plan credit lines. When that happens, they must liquidate inventory regardless of profit. Those forced sales will bring the steepest price corrections. Waiting until that window could translate into another $5,000 to $8,000 of leverage on mid-range towables and fifth wheels. Discounted purchases still carry risk, as parts shortages double repair times, and service networks strain. Cheap prices mean little if units sit for months awaiting panels or wiring. Forest River's reputation for accessibility is fading. Declining owner satisfaction shows trust eroding faster than warranties, pushing loyal buyers towards smaller, craftsmanship-driven competitors. Executives claim progress through quality audits, workforce stability, and inventory control, yet dealer stock remains high and confidence low. Forest River once symbolized dependable balance, but now risks becoming mechanical routine. Its future rests on restraint aligning production with real demand, instead of blindly chasing projections that turned reliability into repetition. The next few months will decide which version survives. If factory schedules slow and dealer lots clear, the brand can recover its footing. But if the lines keep running faster than the market, the spiral deepens. Either way, the lesson stands for everyone watching. When a company builds faster than it listens, the road ahead always narrows. If you want grounded updates, real data, and no dealership spin, subscribe right now. What's coming next reveals what happens when these brands hit their final deadline, and you'll want to know before the next markdown wave hits. Jayco. When a company builds its name on trust, every crack shows. Jayco was once the family-friendly cornerstone of the American trailer market, the safe buy for first-time owners, the reliable brand that parents recommended to their kids. For decades, it stood for fair value, approachable pricing, and craftsmanship that carried a personal touch. But in the landscape of 2025, that reputation is fading. The same loyalty that once protected Jayco has turned into pressure it can no longer meet. The facts are plain. Retail registrations across the motorized and towable sectors show steep declines. Statistical Surveys Incorporated recorded that Class A motorhome sales dropped 21.8% in April, and Class B units fell 18.1% year over year. Those numbers ripple straight through Jayco's production chain. Analysts from MarketWatch labeled 2024 a lost year for R-vee orders, citing a 66% fall in Class A and Class C chassis demand during the summer quarter. For a company whose entry-level business depends on volume, that drop is like pulling oxygen from the room. Jayco's story mirrors the broader industry, but feels more personal because it was always the brand people trusted not to change. It began as a family-owned operation and built its empire on word-of-mouth credibility. When it was absorbed into larger corporate hands, the culture shifted. The focus moved from consistency to throughput, from skilled labor to assembly quotas. For a few years, the sales curve masked the consequences. Then demand cooled, and the flaws surfaced. Dealers hold excess Jayco stock from late 2024, many units idle over 110 days. To reduce costly floor plan fees, prices are cut sharply from $29,995 to $22,400. That $7,500 discount looks appealing, but it instantly erodes resale value once the trailer leaves the lot. Behind the numbers lies a deeper issue: production strain. Technicians report that some units arriving from factories in Indiana are showing misaligned doors, inconsistent caulking, and early delamination in wall panels. These are not isolated failures. They are signs of a system stretched thin. When management pushes for speed to meet quarterly targets, the small details get lost. In a product that lives and breathes breathes on the road, those details define longevity. Jayco's corporate parent, Thor Industries, continues to assure investors that efficiency improvements and automation will restore margins. Yet, efficiency is not the same as craftsmanship. Families buying an entry-level trailer expect a dependable product, not a science experiment in cost management. When quality control becomes a line item instead of a principle, reliability suffers. Financially, the decline in consumer confidence is measurable. Resale tracking from independent analysts shows that Jayco units are depreciating at an average of 35% within the first 2 years, compared to roughly 20% just 5 years ago. That means a trailer purchased today for $30,000 could be worth less than $20,000 by the end of 2027. For owners who financed through extended payment plans, that is an upside-down loan before the adventure even begins. Warranty claims are rising, repairs delayed up to 12 weeks, and service centers overwhelmed. Jayco's reputation for customer care is eroding. Its decline stems not from greed, but imitation chasing automation instead of craftsmanship. Buyers once valued heart over haste. Now, machines outpace meaning, and the brand's voice grows faint beneath production. Noise. Dealer confidence is sliding as orders shrink and inventories swell. With too many trailers and too little trust, Jayco faces a reckoning. In the next 60 days, floor plan renewals will force deep discounting. Midsummer liquidation may reset prices again, making patience the smartest financial move for anyone watching this market. Jayco's leadership promises modernization through tighter assembly, supplier audits, and digital oversight. Yet trust cannot be rebuilt by spreadsheets alone. Long-time loyalty is fading as patience thins. To survive, Jayco must slow production, restore craftsmanship, and prove that affordable comfort still means strength, because reputation returns only through honesty and consistent reliability. For anyone watching the market right now, the lesson is simple. Pause before purchasing. The discounts will deepen as summer progresses, and the strongest deals will appear just before the 2026 line's debut. Let the correction run its course. Then buy from a position of knowledge, not urgency. In a market built on movement, sometimes the smartest move is waiting. The truth is simple. This market isn't collapsing overnight. It's eroding quietly, one brand, one factory, one unsold rig at a time. The signs were ignored for years, but now they're impossible to hide. Now I want to hear from you. Are you buying, selling, or waiting this out? Drop a comment below. And if you want honest breakdowns before the market shifts again, hit subscribe and turn notifications on. More updates are coming, and you don't want to miss them.